There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You lack nothing, but you are working harder than you need to. See, I used to second guess, overthink, and question everything. I was so focused on having the perfect sales presentation and knowing how to overcome and address objections perfectly and how to maximize my time perfectly. But till I realized it's not about doing more, it's about doing less, that I found more success. See, for the longest time, I thought I needed more energy, more effort, more time, more action. But it wasn't about me doing more. It was subtracting what wasn't serving me, but was actually sabotaging me. And when I stopped doing these 7 things, that I actually achieved more with less effort, with less energy. So I had more time and more freedom. And I realized it's not about doing more, it's about stopping doing the wrong things. So I'm going to share with you in this video 7 things. And honestly, number 7 is the real game changer that will help you achieve your sales goals. Before we dive into that, if you want to know the 7 biggest money mistakes that female entrepreneurs make, if you're wondering how you can raise your fees without feeling guilty and like you need to overwork, then make sure to grab this free training. You'll get instant access plus a bonus workbook. Just go ahead and click on the link in the description. So, the first thing that I had to stop doing was caring what others might think. What others might think about my offer, what others might think about my pricing, what others might think about what I invested in my business. Once I stopped caring what others might think and say, it was like a weight off of my shoulders, because I remember saying to myself, those who care don't matter, and those who matter don't care. Have you ever noticed that people who are playing at a higher level than you, they see what you're doing and they reward and acknowledge what you're doing? Like for you, what may seem like, oh, I'm not on the right track. They're like, keep on going, keep on going. They're cheering you on. But those who aren't interested in investing in you, aren't interested in investing in your offer, aren't interested in supporting you. I mean, some might say haters have so much to say. So it's really like, stop caring what others might think or say. What they are thinking or saying is none of your business. That's the first thing I stopped doing. The second thing was needing to be needed. And this is a tricky one, right? This is, if you're anything like me and have a history of people pleasing and thinking that you are serving people, but you're really pleasing people, this is a huge one. See, this shows up when, if you're anything like me, where you're making exception for bad behavior and you are giving clients who are not doing their part more time, more energy, more effort, and they're still not doing their part. Because there's a party that needs to be needed, right? Like when I stopped that, when I stopped buying people's emotional drama, when I stopped being a people pleaser, when I empowered people to own their actions and own their results or lack thereof, I had more energy, I had more time, and ultimately more freedom and more money. The third thing that I did was stop needing external validation. And I didn't even realize that I was constantly looking for someone else's approval of what God had told me to do or what I knew in my ether I needed to do, whether that was an offer that I was creating, a pricing decision I was making, an investment in my business I was making or not making. Like I just was constantly looking for external validation. And I remember I didn't even realize I was doing that until my current VA said, yeah, one thing I noticed about you versus my other clients, you like ask for like you ask a lot, like you ask for my opinion a lot on things. Ouch and amen. When I made the decision that I know what I know and that I was going to believe what I believe, that overthinking, second guessing, the weight of it and the effort and the time that it consumed decreased dramatically. And it also helped me show up differently. So this is what I've been telling, like, you're going to show up differently when you stop needing external validation for what you believe in, what you know to be true. The fourth thing, whoa, when I did this, can I just say freedom? When I stopped being afraid, not only hearing no, but saying no. See, if you're anything like me, how I used to be, when I heard no, I felt like it was a personal attack. I took it personal. So, what would any normal person do who feels like they are being personal attacked? I would find ways to avoid hearing no. How would I do that? I wasn't making offers. I wasn't making more offers. Unconsciously, I was teaching my audience not to buy from me. They could just consume free master classes from me, free webinars from me, and I wouldn't show up as the leader and make an offer, an opportunity for them to continue the learning if they didn't want it to stop. Because I didn't want to hear no, because I didn't want to take it as personal attack. And it was a former virtual assistant. Shout out to these virtual assistants who see the inside of our businesses, who said, "Oh yeah, it's obvious." This is years ago. This was like back in 13 years ago, like 2012. She's like, "Oh, it's obvious that you are afraid to hear no. You rarely sell." And at the same time, where I was afraid to hear no, I was afraid to say no. You know how I flipped it around? I started saying no. Like honestly, the more I said no, and the more I increased my capacity to hear no as it is, which is personal feedback. And the more I heard no while playing the 100 no game, the more I was able to say no. So I stopped being afraid to hear no and say no. This thing that I stopped doing changed my business forever. See, God had told me 4 years into my business that you were doing the right work, but serving the wrong people. See, back then I was doing executive coaching, helping executives and career professionals and some business owners from a career perspective. And God said, no, I've called you to be a business coach to Christian visionaries, leaders, trailblazers. But for 7 years, I told myself the story that I'm just not good at sales. See, I looked out into the marketplace and I saw all the people who were leaders in sales, and I was nothing like them. I was not yelling. I perceived it as yelling. I was not yelling in my emails, in my marketing. I didn't have this corporate sales or marketing background. I was a CPA. And so because I chose to not listen to God, but to listen to myself and look externally, and for 7 years, I told myself the story, I'm just not good at sales, I'm not good at sales. But colleagues would say to me, like, how are you having clients who will enroll in your 6-month, year-long program and then work with you for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, up to 8 years? And I would just say, I'm a great coach. But that wasn't really the question they were asking me. How am I able to enroll people into my 4 and 5-figure offers with no problem? Well, finally in 2017, I said, I'm going to change the story because I need to see myself the way God sees me. And I'm saying I'm not good at sales is not what he's saying about me to me. When I dropped that story and I told myself the truth about sales, which is a skill that can be learned. And the only reason I told myself this story that I'm not good at sales is because the way it was initially taught to me didn't align with my values, and the way that I saw other people selling didn't align with my value. But that was just the way that it was taught to me. That was just one method. When I stopped telling myself that story and I started telling myself a new story, things changed. Okay, last two, and number 7 is so, so, so good. And I want to share with you, if you are ready to stop doubting yourself, you want to attract premium value clients who get your value and pay you in full. You want to close sales simply. And you want to do it in a way that feels natural. I have an opportunity for us to work together in my Position Like a Pro, which is going to help you position yourself, your offers, and your prices to attract premium value clients. Make sure to sign up for this opportunity for us to work together one-on-one while spots are still available. You can go ahead and click on the link in my description box or in the comments to make it easier for you. Okay, number 6. I had to say a breath for this one because this really was about me unprogramming myself from the beliefs that I always believed about work. See, I stopped believing that I had to exert a lot of effort and energy to make a lot of money. And I stopped doing that. Like you don't have to exert a lot of physical energy, physical effort, mental energy, emotional energy to make a lot of money. Like you can feel good and make a lot of money doing what you love to do and what is easy and natural for you to do. And this was so against what I've been told, and definitely what my first career as a corporate CPA had told me, because I remember like the effort and the energy it took me to study for the CPA exam. I mean, before that, in my accounting classes in college, then studying for the CPA. And it just was a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And I just thought that's how it's supposed to be. And I carried that over, even though I left that career and left that profession, I still carried that belief into my work as a coach. And I really struggled with believing that I can make a lot of money doing what I love to do, what is easy and natural for me to do, and is hard for others. So I had to stop that. I had to stop believing that lie and start believing the truth that God purposed me to prosper from my gifts that he gave me. The last one I told you is really the most important, significant one. Like it trumps all other ones. And I had to stop doubting God. I had to stop doubting what God said. I had to stop doubting what God said to me, what God promised me, what God said about me. I just had to stop doubting God and start believing, just trusting, believing, and obeying. And this one is a muscle that I continue to do. It's so interesting that God will deliver us. God will answer our prayers, spoken or unspoken. It'll be like, God, we serve a good God, an awesome God, a faithful God. It is true that he is not a man, he shall not lie. If he said he will do it, he will do it. He is faithful in all his way. His goodness and his mercy follow us all the days of our life. Like we will profess our faith and then we'll doubt it when something looks impossible to us. When I stopped doubting God, I started trusting and obeying and leaving the results to him, knowing that one man waters, one man plants, another one waters, but God does the increase. When I stop doubting God and stop trying to do his work, his part, what I can't do, things changed. So now I want to hear from you. I want to hear which of the 7 you are ready to also stop doing so you can make more money and have more time and freedom in your business doing what you love to do, what is easy and natural for you to do, and what people value. Let me know down in the comments so we can continue the conversation. Okay, until then, take care. God bless. Love you. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when we release a new video. Then click the TV to watch the next video. Go to altheamcintyre.com to get your free training on the 7 biggest sales mistakes that keep you from 7 figures.